Hi guys, how you doing? Stephanie Aune back with you. Doing step 3. This is the cutting the papers. And sometimes it's easier to cut the papers if you don't have all this bulk down here. I tried to use xoxo to do it, but you know, he honestly doesn't do very well. He can take in this many papers, but the problem is that when you fold, you have to be conscious of the fact that your center pieces are shorter than your outer pieces, even though they're all measured the same length, because you've got this much paper stacked in there, right? Right? Makes sense, huh? So even though you try to push it in as far as you can, you still have issues. Okay. One done. And this is going to be a 4x8 book. So I am cutting this edge with leaving only 1/8 of space. And the reason for that is that it will go back into the back binding basically very flush. And it's nice to have 1/8 of an inch around each edge of papers to the book. Now I am trying to cut through a lot of paper here, and I'm sure my rotary blade is now getting quite dull because I've done this 9 times, and this is 24 pieces of paper that we're trying to cut through at the same time. But it still makes a nice clean cut. I mean, look at that cut. It's gorgeous. Those are the music pages. I kind of like leaving those out, but then part of them drives me a little crazy too. You know me. Okay. And here we need to go to, since on both sides we're going to need 1/8 of an inch. This one gets cut down to 7 3/4. Make sure we're lined up down there how we need to be. This is important. It's a pain. It is a pain to make sure that you are doing it correctly. But and as you can see, every swipe I'm cutting through another piece of paper. It's just it's giving my hand a little bit of carpal tunnel, to be honest. It's not very great for me. The squirrel monsters in there. We got another flower or tree. Perfect. I'm going to put this little guy in here too. I don't know if I'll keep it in there. You know, I like the doilies, but then they're kind of weird too. I like them, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about them. I think this one needs to be flipped around though. Another thing to worry about changing. There. I have Handel's Messiah stuck in my head this morning. Which, Handel's Messiah was the album that my father loved at Christmas. And we only listened to it during Christmas. And it's just a beautiful piece of music. I'm having such a hard time lately, guys. I'm having such a hard time because I've got some huge changes happening in my life, and I don't really know what's going to happen with them. And I keep talking about them, and then I'll do a video, and then I'll erase the video. Then I'll do another video, and then I'll erase that video. And it's really hard because I don't know what to say at this point in time. It's hard. It's hard. You know, if I say too much this way or that way, and then, you know, people go on social media now to interview a person, find out what they post and what they think and what they're doing. So it's hard. It's hard to know what to say and what not to say. Yeah. Unfortunately, I do care. I just don't care. I kind of gotta care. You know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Okay, so again, we want this at 7 3/4 because we want 1/8 of an inch. Hope I'm not making that too short. Make sure we got enough here. So again, I'm cutting through 22 pieces of paper. Or 24 at a time. But those places where I was conscientious of my folds, they're all good. They're all tucked in there. And I don't like to cut the bottom, so then I don't get my bottom folds. All right. And I'm going to do the last one the same way without you here. Okay, so we have just basically completed step 3. So we're going to alter and then fold pages and then collect whatever other pages we want and add them all together in a stack. Yeah, you have all your different papers that you want to use. Book pages, whatever. The second thing to do is to stack the papers the way you want them to be. And make them look pretty. Third step is cutting the papers, and fourth step, we're going to decide on the binding, or what we're going to use for the cover of the book. Okay, I'll be back. We'll chat soon. Bye. Alright guys, we're at step 4. Step 4 is, Step 4, we set these aside, and we figure out what we're going to use for covering. Now, as we know, I didn't have any books, so I don't know if I've posted that video yet. Again, I don't know where I'm at right now. I'm really discombobulated, so, you know, that's just par for the course. Okay, so we need to have a piece that is 8 inches long. Swoopy's very dull too. Alright, and then we need to have a piece that, okay, so this is 12, so we need to go into 8, right, for 4 inches. And then we need to go to 4 for another 4 inches, right? All right, so here's where we have to consider our binding. I think I would like to hide the strings on this one. And tuck it in. So that means that I'll have 2 pieces of back binding. One that I'm going to attach the binding to, and then the other one that's going to go over the top of it. And that one has to be whatever this width is, longer. So probably one being about 1/8 inch shorter than the other. So we want to allow for this to grow without giving it too much This is going to be big. This is going to be a fatty little book, isn't it? So, whatever that is, I think that that is enough right there. Looks like about 1 3/4 inches. About there. I think 1 3/4 inches, that's 1.5 inches, 1 3/4 inches would be perfect. Okay, and then the second one, yeah, 1 3/4 inches. Let's give it just a little bit more. We're going to give it a touch over 1 3/4 inches. Not quite to 15/16. We're just going to give it a little extra space there, and we're just going to make the second one to be 2 inches. We should have enough for this guy to be 2 inches. Yes, we do. Okie doke. So the reason why I do that is so then we can have space for our book to close all the way. Right? Let's see. And it's perfect. So now on these we have to declare the top. This is for when we put our holes in, that they line up. We want to make sure the holes line up. That's a big deal. Okay. So step 4 is cut out outer cover. Now, or prep book. And by prepping the book, you pull the binding out of the inside. I think I have another video where I'm going to show you that, but I don't know. Okay, number 5. This one is the pain, so we're going on 5. This one you have to line up and punch holes. And for me, this one is probably, you know, the cutting I take a lot of time with, but when I'm doing the holes, punching the holes, oh. Okay, it's a pain. This is not necessarily an easy process. We know this, but it is truly a labor of love. And now I've lost my other pen, so that's the top inside, top outside, which that's never going to show up. Okay, so we're going to set these to the side. And we're going to set this guy down here so I don't get it mixed up. And we're going to get rid of Swoopy. Bye, Swoopy. Oh, there it is, right there. Top inside. Okay. Okay, I like that. Set up right there. I think that's quite cool. Okay. All right. So these pages are pretty thick. These signatures. I still think that they're a little thick. Now, if I took a couple pages out of each one, 2, 4, 6, 8, and added 1, 2. I need another coloring page if I do that, because this is so heavy on the coloring pages. Oh, why am I doing this? What I'm worried about is it being so thick that it, you know, that kind of pops that signature. And if I've already got 12, 24 pages each, might as well make it an even 100-page book, right? So, let's see how many pages are here. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's take one of the fun pages and one of the plain pages. If it will give it to me. Come on, give it up. There we go. All right, so I'll bring you back when I have this last signature put together. All right, bye. All right, so I'm just finishing up this last coloring page, and then I'm like, oh gosh, I should bring you guys back to show you how I figured this out. Isn't that cute? I love the birds. And then the back side has just this kind of random design on it. This is under 4 inches across. And then I'm just going to tuck this guy in so that it sits in cleanly and doesn't hang out the book. And then this will go into the stringing. So I like to cut that out so that you can fold it all the way down. Right? And I like to give it a little extra space in here just to make it easier for that to happen. Because you have to account for the fold, right? If you don't account for the fold, then even though you have the slot there, it's much harder to get it in that. Okay. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it looks like we do have to do one more little bit of trimming with this guy, because that dictionary page, and just to make sure everything is all lined up properly. So let's get this guy pushed in as much as possible here, and as much as possible here. And where'd Matt go? This is Matt. This is Matt. Zactomat. This is Zactomat. Okay. Yeah, I am going insane. I am definitely certifiable right now. Heart is the only thing saving my butt, to be honest. Okay. Cuddy. Matt and Cuddy. Cuddy Shark. Dun 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 dun. Cuddy Shark. Okay. And then we're gonna go 7 3/4. What the? Right? Yes. Dun 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 dun. Ta-da! Perfect. Okay, so the only thing I want different is I want this bird to be up in the middle. My nose itches, sorry. Like that. So, when I start to punch, which is the next step, punch on my holes. Come on, come on, come on, come on. So you guys can see what I'm doing here. Okay. Okay. I like the thought of seeing this little flower underneath of there on the front. It is the front cover of that signature, right? Okay, Matt, Cuddy, you're going away. On to... Did I Did I use my piece of paper? Okay. Jeepers. Step 5. Lining up and punching holes. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go get a warm cup of coffee. This is an imperative. Because lining up and punching holes is a bit of a pain in the butt. But I did find a little bit of a solution with it. This is going to be a big fatty book. Holy schmoly. So I should be able to punch through all of these all at once, thereby ensuring that every single signature is cut in the same place. And it's really hard to get everything lined up perfectly. And I'm a stickler for that. I'm going to make sure that my pages line up. I'm going to make sure this is as good as I can make it, right? Ow. My hands are getting pretty trashed from doing this, truly. My thumb. Nah. Oh. You know, this takes a while. This does take a bit. Just the nature of the business. Really. Okay. Let's do this first. Seven and a quarter. Or 7 3/4. So our halfway. 2, 3. Oh, it's going on my nuts. Get that little puppy pushed down there. Alright, I think we were lined up okay, honestly. And 1.5 down here. We're going to scooch this from here so that we can double check that that's at 1.5, which it is. Okay. Let's bring back Matt. Yeah, I still don't know if this is the best way to do this. I don't know. This is just how I do it. You do it however it makes you happy. Right? I found that I had a hard time making sure all the holes were lined up properly. And then, of course, before I pounce this in, I want to make sure that I'm in the direct fold. That looks like I am. And I'm pushing that all the way through because the further that I go up, the more pronounced the hole is. Okay, so we have poked holes in every signature. Now we have to get 5 signatures onto this board. I know. A lot of signatures to get onto one piece. Okay, so we're going to take this one at half, which this should be exactly 8 inches. So half is going to be 4, right? Okay, and so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this guy and go right to there, that 4-inch mark, make sure that it's lined up. It's not quite. There we go, that's the center. That is our center point. And let's just take this, got this guy here, we got this guy here. This is where all of our signatures are at, so let's just do that. Okay, so I got it here, here, aside from that center point. And this is actually dead center right there. Let's just do this real quick. Sometimes centimeters are so much easier. Okay, so we're going to just make that be the 10 spot right there. Let's just see. 10 to 14 and a half. Okay, so we got the 12 in the center. We can put it, whatever number you're easiest with in the center, right? So look at, there's 11 and 10. I don't think that's quite right, but if we had 10.2, okay, 1, 2, 3. So then let's just figure out, you know, how far apart those guys are. Am I particular? Yeah. I have no qualms about saying that. I am ridiculously particular. We know that about me, though. You don't watch me because you're a lazy artist. You watch me because you want to know the right way. Or the, you know. But anybody can do this. I mean, I'm sure there's much easier ways out there to do this than what I'm doing. I just, all right. So hopefully they all line up. Got number 1 there. And if we hold on to that, number 2, number 1, perfect, and number 3. It's perfection-ish. That's pretty close, though. I mean, it's coming through. So, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. All right. So, that is step 5. Step 6 is we start to string your signatures onto the board. Okay, so I'm going to go get my coffee that I had talked about a little while ago. I'm going to check the time and see if I have to get in the shower. And we'll chat soon. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. I know it's a tedious process, but it is really a cool one. And I think what I want to do with this one is instead of making a board flap. Oh, I just popped the hinges. I just popped the hinges off. You know, I just don't know if those hinges are going to work. So I made a board flap with this one. I think with this guy, what I want to do is actually make a fabric wrap so that it wraps around and covers the whole thing instead of having a board in here. These hinges are truly driving me crazy. I've tried all sorts of different glues to keep it on there. And, yeah, I just don't really want somebody to purchase it and then have that happen. That would be really, really bad for me. So, we'll probably revisit this. I could tie them on there. I could glue them and tie them. That might be okay. Okay, well, anyway. Fun times! I am truly just about done with this project. It's been a tough one. Very time consuming. Okay, guys, we'll chat soon.